Hello guys, welcome to Aviator Guide. Today we'll be talking about the four forces acting on an aircraft. Thrust, drag, lift and weight are the forces that act upon all aircraft in flight. Understanding how these forces work and knowing how to control them with the use of power and flight controls are essential to flight. The four forces acting on an aircraft in straight and level unaccelerated flight are thrust, drag, lift and weight. They are defined as follows. Thrust, the forward force produced by the power plant or the propeller or rotor. It opposes or overcomes the force of drag. As a general rule, it acts parallel to the longitudinal axis. However, this is not always the case. Drag, a rearward retarding force caused by disruption of airflow by the wing, rotor, fuselage and other protruding objects. Drag opposes thrust and acts rearward parallel to the relative wind. Weight, the combined load of the aircraft itself, the crew, the fuel and the cargo or baggage. Weight pulls the aircraft downward because of the force of gravity. It opposes lift and acts vertically downward through the aircraft's center of gravity or CG. Lift. Lift opposes the downward force of weight, is produced by the dynamic effect of the air acting on the airfoil, and acts perpendicular to the flight path through the center of lift. In steady flight, the sum of these opposing forces is always zero. There can be no unbalanced forces in steady, straight flight based upon Newton's third law, which states that for every action or force, there is an equal but opposite reaction or force. This is true whether flying level or when climbing or descending. It does not mean the four forces are equal. It means the opposing forces are equal to and thereby cancel the effects of each other. In the figure, the force vectors of thrust, drag, lift and weight appear to be equal in value. The usual explanation states, without stipulating that thrust and drag do not equal weight and lift, that thrust equals drag and lift equals weight. Although basically true, this statement can be misleading. It should be understood that in straight, level, unaccelerated flight, it is true that the opposing lift or weight forces are equal. They are also greater than the opposing forces of thrust or drag that are equal only to each other. Therefore, in steady flight, the sum of all upward forces, not just lift, equals to the sum of all downward forces, not just weight, and the sum of all forward forces, not just thrust, equals to the sum of all backward forces, not just drag. This refinement of the old thrust equals drag, lift equals weight formula explains that a portion of thrust is directed upward in climbs and acts as if it were lift, while a portion of weight is directed backwards and act as if it was drag. In glides, a portion of the weight vector is directed forward and therefore acts as thrust. In other words, anytime the flight path of the aircraft is not horizontal, lift, weight, thrust and drag vectors must each be broken down into two components. By using the aerodynamic forces of thrust, drag, lift and weight, pilots can fly a controlled, safe flight. Thanks for watching Aviator Guide. Do subscribe and share for more videos.